Okay, so I'm going to explain a couple of things that people might have questions about that we ran into that a lot of YouTube videos don't really have on it. For one, whenever you get these mini split kits, a lot of times they come with this white nylon or vinyl kind of material. It's not really tape. What it is, it's just a UV protector. You see it on a lot of videos. People have it like Senville. Our mini split system is by Senville. It comes with that vinyl material, which is a kind of it's whitish. But anyways, it apparently is a UV protector, not tape, just a UV protector. What we did is I replaced it with a UV resistant tape instead of using that vinyl. Now, a couple of things that we did fall into problems with, which a lot of YouTubers might or might not have had on their website, is that for one, everybody was running the power cable with the actual piping. You don't have to run the power cable with the actual piping. The only thing you have to do is, I personally would not recommend, if you have to do like us and make some minor bends, I would not recommend running the power cable, because when you do, it's harder to bend these without actually bending the copper pipe. So we had to, even though I did take this all up with this connected, after research and other information, I found out that's not going to work at all for us. So I completely removed this. Now I am, after I get my actual line set in, I'm going to probably end up just taking this and maybe putting this in the middle, put a strip of tape around it every couple of feet just to hold it in place so it doesn't fall down while being in the line set cover that we're going to add. But as for bending, it does not work, because when you bend the wire with the pipe, it's a possibility it creates the crease inside of the copper piping, which you do not want to do. That will basically mess up the whole system, compression wise problems, this all types of problems. Also, if you bend it too tight, then you're really not gonna, if it creases, it's over, and you might have to replace the pipes. So right now we had ours running inside of the house under the floorboards because of where our mini split is located. What I'm going to do is, as you see it come straight out, normally you will probably have to use a 90 bend. Manufacturers recommend to not use a 90 bend and don't use a copper bender, just to try your best to get it to go out at an angle. Well, a slight bend. So what I'm going to do is, after removing the wire, which is causing tension, I'm going to slit open this section, make it wider, cut into the wood. That way it's a gradual bend. So instead of a 90, maybe a 45, something that the pipes can handle without actually bending and creasing and causing problems. But just to let you know, the other thing that we initially did is to make it a little bit more sturdier when we ran it inside and underneath the floorboard. We used more of a PVC 20 mil tape, which made it very stiff. So because of the stiffness of that tape, it actually creased the front of the pipes. So we had to cut them off, and there's another video we have where we had to flare it back out to replace it with new nuts and everything and cut that section of the pipe off, since it did crease. So if anybody else is trying to do some of that nature, I do recommend not making this as stiff, because when you try to do these little corner bends or run it, you do risk the possibility of it actually creasing and bending. Then the whole section has to be cut off. Then you're going to have to reflare it and do it all over again. So these are just things that I just like to bring to people's attention that I didn't see on YouTube videos, because everyone shows a perfect picture while doing install. This is how you do it, follow this, do that. But in reality, it never happens that way. In reality, everybody's property is different. Every way you do it is different. And everyone's going to run into different issues. And a lot of this stuff people don't even understand. They follow the videos. They're like, okay, this is the video. But when you run into a problem, you're like, it wasn't discussed. So I figured I would update ours to just give a little bit more brief of what the white stuff, white vinyl or tape that they had in there, and about the cable, things that could possibly help people. So just like I said, when you're doing these line sets, I don't recommend, I would run the cable with it, but not underneath the same vinyl taping or the PV, the UV taping. I would recommend just run it on top because the wire doesn't need to be protected as much as the rest of the stuff. Now, if you're running everything without a line set cover, we're using a line set cover. But if you're running everything without a line set cover, then yeah, you'll probably want to, after everything is ran, you might want to tape it up against the line set itself and protect it a little bit. But if it's without a line set cover, with a line set cover, I wouldn't even worry about. The other thing is the wire that came with our system, we did not use. We bought a commercial grade HVAC cable. It has metal on the inside to protect it, and that doesn't need any kind of UV protection whatsoever because it's already protected. So I don't need to add it to the tape or anything else. And it was a wire, and it wasn't that expensive, so we figured to just run our own wire instead of the wires that come with the actual kit. It's still HVAC wires for mini split, is just in more of a conduit kind of casing to make it a lot more sturdier and to give it more protection. And that works better for our application. You can use the wires that definitely come with it. It's just for our application, I choose to use a different type of grade of wire. And that's, so what I'm gonna do is cut this open here so I can make a longer bend without making such a sharp 90 bend, so I don't have to use the copper bender because I would have to cut back the installation, use the copper bender and everything, with all that stuff I'm trying to avoid. So I'm just gonna try to do that and then barely bend it and then run it straight to our compressor. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and we'll come back with the video after.